tweeted, "Congratulations to Drew Brees on this all-time passing record. Always a class act."
That's really cool.
Oh, man,
really cool.
From the president, that would have been nice.
Oh, I was thinking from LeBron, but...
Yeah, of course.
He had mentioned he just before the game even ended, he had almost 200 text messages on his phone and counting. It was lit up.
You know that's my avatar.
I know your wife with President Obama.
She did the makeup for
It's really
Obama.
cool.
Yes,
it's one of the.
That's what got him the second term. That makeup job got him the next.
Your complexion was amazing. I vote for you,
man.
No, not till that day.
No,
that thing could have went either way. Hey now.
Okay, just go.
Hey man, that's the news.
All right.
Well, when Ohio State won the title. When did Ohio State win the title?
15.
Okay, he was reelected in 12.
Anyway, just say words. Time for Source to start your morning.
What are you talking about, man? We met him a few times.
Oh, okay,
Red Sox to store the Yankees.
Obama had to interview her before I got married to her.
Okay, sorry.
That was a few years ago.
Jenna's telling us all the space.
Let me tell you what the final score was last night. It was 16-1. Boston takes a 2-1 lead in the ALDS. Brock Holt became the first player in postseason history to hit for the cycle. It's not easy to do things for the first time anymore. While Luis Severino struggled, giving up 6 runs in 3 innings. What was your takeaway in Game 3, Nick?
Man, my takeaway was I couldn't believe going into the game the Yankees had become the favorites in the series, even though they had stolen home field advantage. And everyone's like, oh, the Red Sox, their rotation's so good. Okay, whatever the Red Sox rotation is, it was good enough for them to win 108 games. Yeah. I know David Price has been a bad postseason pitcher. He's not going to pitch again this series. Like, this was a big loss for the Yankees, obviously, but the way it happened as well, and to run through so many pitchers, to run through your bullpen, to pull Lance Lynn when the game's already lost, it doesn't bode well for tonight, in my eyes, for the Yankees.
But more important was the Yankees didn't have tickets for me, so I didn't have to make that hike all the way up to the Bronx. I was chilling last night in Tribeca, was able to turn that mess.
But you're going tonight, because your guy CC's pitching.
No, CC, I need 4, bro.
Okay.
Hit me up. You know how we do. I'd like to be there, a little VIP. Don't be late this time. Don't forget me, CC.
Last time you forgot.
Yeah, you forgot to throw stripes, too. You forgot my ticket.
I'm sure he'll get right on that now. The NFL, Deshaun Watson has led Houston to 2 straight wins, keeping him alive in a competitive AFC South. He did take 10 hits against Dallas Sunday night, including a massive shot on 4th near the goal line. Watson says he's built for those hits. As head coach Phil O'Brien says it is not a sustainable way to play. Who's right in this one, CC?
The coach is right.
Hey.
We need Deshaun healthy. Man, you're not going to make a living running through guys, especially with number 52, 54. So, man, hey, get your head up, player. Check out them numbers, man. 38, when he out there, his name Heath, look at his eyes and go right through him. DB, number 22, 24, go right through them. And them 54, them dudes will hurt you. Them guys is hired killers, man. Know your personnel, bro.
I get it, and I want Deshaun to stay healthy, but he also, in his defense, this play notwithstanding, is running for his life. He's running for his life.
Run out of bounds.
Okay.
Run out of bounds, man. You're the franchise quarterback.
It's tough.
What happened to Jimmy G, bro?
Jimmy,
and I'm not talking about that date he went on.
I know you're not talking. Well, you kind of are. But it's tough to run out of bounds on 4th and goal right before the half.
What if he gets concussed?
No, I get it. There's a risk.
If Tom Brady runs out of bounds at 4th down right there, what do we say? Man, he's a smart quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, if he runs out of bounds, man, that dude is smart. Brother run into people, we think he ain't smart. Stop, man. Stop.
Bad news for the Giants tackle Eric Flowers. To add to the other bad news he received a few weeks ago of getting benched. According to reports, he'll either be traded or released later today. See, you surprised by this?
No, not surprised. There ain't no excuse for this, brother. Deshaun, I got an excuse for him. All right? But their excuse for him, dude been bad. Even when they drafted him, there were draft experts saying, man, they are really reaching for him. He is not a tackle. He is definitely not a left tackle coming out of the University of Miami. He has struggled in pro football. All right? They tried to move him back to right tackle. This is what we need, Jenna. I believe he's got some talent, but he needs to change the scenery.
You know where I bet that scenery ends up being? Thing we were just talking about.
What?
Houston. Houston's tackles are so bad. I bet they would take a flyer.
That's an upgrade.
I think it could be. On Kendall Lamb or Julian Davenport, he, I think, was not as good, obviously, as his draft position would say, but also mentally got defeated. He became a punching bag. There was the Sunday night football game where I think he gave up 5 sacks last year to the same guy, and it just became, he was the only tackle in the league that was talked about like this. I think a change of scenery, if there's anything that's going to save him, it'll be that.
Yeah, I still believe he can blossom somewhere else.
Oh,
all right.
A flower. Well done.
Sticking with the Giants, Odell Beckham Jr. made some comments in a sit-down interview over the weekend that were not exactly complimentary of his quarterback, Eli Manning. Head coach Pat Shurmur was not happy about it. Yesterday, Eli Manning spoke about the situation.
I don't watch Lil Wayne much, and so so I missed a lot of them. I think we coach handled the situation well. I think Odell, having him address the team and just setting the record straight from his point of view, and I think that was smart and big by him to get in that situation and kind of own up to what was going on and just kind of set the record straight so we can just avoid the distractions.
All right, see, do we believe everything Eli's saying? Is there anything to worry about as far as chemistry goes between Eli and his wide receiver?
No, you can't believe everything that Eli's saying because Eli, man, he's the consummate pro. He's the team captain. He's going to say all the right stuff. And in saying all the right stuff, does that mean there's 100% true? No, but you're not going to see that from Eli. Throughout Eli's career, he's been criticized. He's been in a lot of hot situations. And he addressed most of them with humor, just like that. Eli's from New Orleans. He knows who Lil Wayne is. He does watch Lil Wayne, all right? So him just using the humor to unarm the media and everything, but he addressed some things that are very, very important because Odell didn't have to do this before. When Odell had made mistakes before, the team, they might have addressed them, but they didn't have Odell address the team. So Odell addressed the team to say that he had made a mistake or to try to put a spin on what was actually in the interview. So I believe that was very, very positive from Pat Shurmur to be able to get out ahead of that so the team knows it's not the head coach. And the head coach is not going to support the behavior. But Eli, man, Eli is going to say all the right stuff. That's all he's ever done throughout his career, and you got to respect him for being that and for doing that.
Listen, Eli has earned a ton of respect. He is potentially a Hall of Famer. It's those 2 Super Bowls, no one can take them from him. But where we sit here today, the 2018 New York Giants headed into Week 6. They got a Thursday night game. Assuming Odell doesn't say anything else the rest of the season about the quarterback, the discussion around Eli Manning is going to be about his play and what the Giants' plan at that position is moving forward. You said something very interesting earlier. Tom Coughlin won 2 Super Bowls. Wasn't good enough for him to have a lifetime contract. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. It ain't good enough for him to have a lifetime contract. That passed.
No, he don't have a lifetime contract. But the organization decided in the next couple of years what's the best way to move forward. That's not a lifetime contract. It's a business decision as far as do we want the veteran quarterback who brings some leadership to this locker room, or do we turn this team over to Odell and draft potentially Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen? Now imagine those quarterbacks playing with Odell being the voice of that offense and the voice of the Giants.
But the point that I'm making is you're right. This offseason, they made a very clear decision. The next 2 or 3 years, we're rolling with 10. My point is what happens over the next 10 games could determine whether or not those next 2 or 3 years are just this year. Like once we get past the skirmish or whatever from Odell's comments this weekend, it is going to come down to the Giants are sitting there with 1 win, the longest pass they've thrown in the air in the last 16 games that was completed was thrown by Odell Beckham, and so they are right now almost betwixt and between at the quarterback situation. So Eli, all the commentary this week was about the Odell comments, and Odell brought those on himself. We talked about it a lot yesterday. The commentary is going to start to shift back to 10. The offensive line's caught it. Odell's caught it. At some point, we're going to have to talk about the quarterback.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with talking about the quarterback. But let's talk about, remember Kelvin Benjamin? Remember what he said? Oh, man, I wish I wouldn't have gone to Carolina. I wish I ain't had that quarterback.
Yes.
Odell going to realize it can get worse, all right? When you don't have Eli Manning, because we're not done with Odell. Oh, he's going to say some other stuff. Oh, this is just the beginning. When you give a guy guaranteed money like that, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Watch and see what we see over the next few years.
All right, let's move on to the Green Bay Packers. They dropped a disappointing game to the Lions on Sunday. That after only putting up 22 points against a bad Buffalo team the week before. Rodgers threw for over 400 yards this week, but he had 2 crucial fumbles as well. According to his head coach, Rodgers still might be feeling the effects from the hit he took in week 1.
He's not going to make excuses, and I'm not going to stand up here and go that route because he's playing through a lot. I mean, he's playing through a lot going into the game, so and he played through a lot in the game. So I mean, I think what he's given us is more than I don't say more than we expect. He's given us a lot. So and that's the reality of it. But he's playing through a lot.
All right, Nick, how much of this are we going to put on Aaron Rodgers? 2-2-1 start, not exactly where we thought they would be when he came back from his injury.
Going to put on his injury is the question. How much is this about Aaron Rodgers being injured? The 1 in 2-2-1. I think if he's fully healthy, that tie against Minnesota, they win that game, and they're 3-2. But the bigger issues with this team are not Aaron Rodgers' lack of mobility or not being at full strength or anything to do with the quarterback. The bigger issues with this team are the 52 guys around him and the head coach. The injuries at wide receiver have been more meaningful than the injury to the quarterback. There are issues defensively. There are issues once again in the running game. The issues, as we talked about extensively yesterday, questioning what exactly Mike McCarthy is adding to the program. Those, to me, are the bigger reasons that they're 2-2-1. Allowing 31 points to Washington, allowing 31 points to Detroit in your 2 losses. Like, that's the biggest reason. Why are they 2-2-1? Well, it'd be 1-3-1 if you didn't have Rodgers with the comeback against the Bears. Like, I'm not putting this at the feet of Aaron Rodgers, and I don't actually think their record would be much better if he had never been injured this year.
Well, the thing about Green Bay is if you're going to talk about Green Bay, it's hard not to talk about their quarterback. And if you're going to try to talk about their quarterback as far as moving forward, you have to talk about the injury. This is a significant injury. It's his lead leg. He's probably the best thrower, mobile quarterback that we've ever seen playing pro football. He's so accurate even on the move. It breaks down the defense. So what they're able to do when he's healthy is, I understand what the coach is saying. The coach is saying Aaron is struggling to get through a lot because the body he's used to playing, that body's not available. So now he's just relying on his brain and on his arm. And he does not have the type of talent, and they don't have the type of system like New England's where they can get the ball to 5 or 6 different guys. And the injuries, not only to Aaron, but to this wide receiving core, where Aaron hadn't been practicing. Now the wide receiving core is not practicing. These things they affect your team that offensively, you're not going to be as good. So who is Green Bay when they are a mediocre offense? They're an average football team.
Right.
So we're not blaming the injury on them, but they are an average football team because their system is Aaron Rodgers. They don't have the passing system that New Orleans has and that some of the other prolific teams that we have. No, they don't have that. They have the most talented player.
So Aaron Rodgers put this on himself and said, I need to start faster. I'm going to break it all down and say, I need to start faster. Is that getting out speed-wise? Is that the offense? Tell me what he's talking about.
Aaron's just trying to overcompensate because last week he blamed it on the coach. Last week he said, man, we need to do this offensively. So what he should have said was, this is what I need to do. That's what you want to hear players doing when they're doing their interviews, talk about themselves and or support their teammates. But Aaron getting off to a fast start, that would help. Aaron knows the first 15 plays. He knows where the ball should be going based on where the coverage should be. So, yes, he should take some ownership in them not starting fast.
And the Packers, though, they are going to be able to get a bit of a hard reset on their season. They play the Niners on Monday Night Football this week. Then they have a bye. I think even with the issues the Packers have, they should be able to beat C.J. Beathard and the Niners. Then they have a bye. And then they have a couple weeks that could determine their season at the Rams and at the Patriots. Those are marquee games, one of the best teams in the NFC, maybe the best team, one of the best teams in the AFC against the Packers. Coming off the bye, Rodgers should be the healthiest he's been all year, even if he's not going to be fully healthy all year long, and we'll see who they really are. Is this going to be a team that's going to fight and claw for the 6th playoff spot in the NFC, or are they potentially going to have a home playoff game by winning their division? That will be determined by how they do post-bye in a few weeks.
And how refreshing it'd be for him to not have to play catch-up or come from behind in the 4th quarter again. All right, take a break. Coming up, we look back on Drew Brees' amazing night. Next on First Things First.